Welcome to the 35th episode, Financial Independence Retire Early. My name is Bert. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with anybody else who you feel might find it useful, relevant or necessary. I'm back talking about crypto. Last time I spoke, I thought that we were at the bottom. Man, you can never predict what's gonna happen in this crypto industry, because right now, man, it's like flames all over again. But it's not so bad though. We had some good news and we had some bad news. We had a great week last week, with Elon Musk completing his purchase or his hostile takeover of Twitter. And Elon Musk being a big fan of cryptocurrencies. Professing to own some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and some DogeCoin. With Tesla, the company, also owning some Bitcoin. And SpaceX and Tesla also accepting Dogecoin and Bitcoin for some of their purchases of their merch, more specifically. So, it is without a doubt, like Elon, the techno king himself, will definitely have a crypto play in Twitter, especially, with the monetization of some of the content on Twitter. They're looking to have a big monetization play on the app, meaning just like YouTube, and other apps where you get paid for the content that you produce on Twitter. And I believe, right, that the Doge father is gonna pay us in Dogecoin. Elon, he's probably gonna do that. But also, not only that, right, Binance, the CEO owner of Binance, gave Elon about $500 million. That is $500 million as part of the completion of the purchase. So there's definitely gonna be a crypto play, because there's a crypto finger in the pie in the form of Binance, who gave up $500 million to Elon for this Twitter purchase. So Elon loving cryptocurrencies, or loving Dogecoin more specifically, and CZ giving up so much money, there's definitely going to be a crypto play. So that gave, we saw Dogecoin go up over 150% last week. Shiba following about 100%. So there was a huge rally, in crypto, specifically the dog cryptos. So that was the good news of the week. And not only that, right? Lebanon, the country, we saw a lot of people in Lebanon begin to use Bitcoin for their payments, because there's a big hyperinflation problem in Lebanon where the currency is just almost dysfunctional. A lot of people have been moving to make their purchases in Bitcoin in Lebanon. Not only that, in Turkey, right? Last week in Turkey, the Dogecoin purchases superseded both Bitcoin and Ethereum by 3,000%, meaning even in Turkey, people are beginning to make their purchases using Dogecoin. So the currency version of cryptocurrency is coming into play. We know countries like Argentina, not Argentina, what's this? Company Buyake, the President Buyake. I forgot the name, but he made Bitcoin the national currency, right? So people can actually buy and sell legally in the country using Bitcoin. And now we have Turkey and Lebanon following suit. So definitely the currency part of cryptocurrency is becoming a reality, and that gives cryptocurrency not only market value but utility. And that is one of the big arguments of this technology. Like, what is the function of this technology? And more countries are beginning to prove the value as a currency, as an inflation hedge against hyperinflation, against government over control, to protect the value of their currencies, right? That was the good news. And then the bad news started raining in, right? So the chain of events might be a little blurry on my side, but what happened was, so somebody released news about Alameda, which is a company that Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO owner of FTX, the big shareholder in. This company has $6 billion in assets, but no liquidity. So they have no cash, but they have $6 billion in assets. Not only that, they can't sell these assets. These are assets in Solana and in FTT, which is the native token of FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange that is owned by SBF. So when this news come out that this company is, asset rich and cash poor, Binance, the CEO owner of Binance, decided to sell $2 billion worth of this FTT coin. So as he's selling $2 billion of this FTT coin, obviously the price will drop, right? Apparently people try to buy it off market, and he said no, and he sold it on market. So when he's selling it on market, such a huge sell-off, right? $2 billion worth of sell-off. It caused like over 50% drop in FTX, the native code token, and a 30% drop in Solana. So all of these drops in the FTX token and in Solana caused people to kind of maybe be wary. You know, there's probably like the Luna trauma still lingering. You know, the King Celsius trauma is still lingering. So a lot of people maybe thought that FTX itself also might have a liquidity crisis. So a lot of people started withdrawing their assets from FTX, and it said that over $6 billion in assets were withdrawn in 72 hours. Withdrawn in 72 hours, right? So 6 billion in 72 hours has obviously caused a huge liquidity crisis within the company. They were even freezing some withdrawals, right? And that is like a huge red flag, right? And then the company, I guess, was clearly having a liquidity problem. And guess who steps in again? Binance. Yo, this guy's a chess player. Then CZ comes in. He buys all of the non-US assets of FTX, right? After causing such a huge drop in asset value. Man, Sam Bankman-Fried's net worth dropped from $16 billion to $900 million in 24 hours. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, guys. Yo, CZ, this guy is playing like 6-level chess. You know what I'm saying? And with that happening now, Binance is like the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by far. You know, I don't even think Coinbase comes close, right? So they bought all the non-US assets of FTX, you know, and, you know, basically saving FTX. And what's the lesson to learn here, guys? What is the lesson to learn here? There's no problem in being asset rich and cash poor. A lot of people do it. You know, people use their assets to build up more assets and leverage their assets to get cash and then buy more assets and then inflate their net worth so that they can be worth $11 billion. Kanye, not only Kanye does that, everybody does that. Everybody does that, right? But the problem is, you know, and people are calling Sam Bankman-Fried the new Warren Buffett. And what did Warren Buffett say? Or was it Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's best friend? But basically, every man or most men will fall because of 3 L's: ladies, liquor, or leverage. What? Ladies, liquor, or leverage. What does that mean? Don't be over leveraged. You do not use your debt to buy assets like unsafe assets, because what's going to happen is if those unsafe assets lose value, people are going to call back their debts. So this is what over leveraging is basically. So what people do is they have 100 rands, they go to the bank, they give the bank 100 rands, and then they say, well, you can hold my 100 rands, matter, you give me 80 rands, right? Typically you get about 80% worth of your assets in leverage or in a loan. So you get a loan for 80 rands because you give them 100 rand worth of assets, and then you take that 80 rand and you can buy more assets with it to create more value for yourself. So what people do is they buy risky assets, and once the value of those risky assets falls down, people are going to sell your asset because they want their money back, right? They're going to give you a margin call, they're going to call back their money because you used their money to buy these assets that are now losing value. So what happens is the more margin calls, the lower the value of this asset falls, because the more it forces selling, and forcing selling creates more selling, and then there's a domino effect, and then this is typically what causes, you know, markets downturns or market crashes, or what causes people to be personally bankrupt because they're over leveraged. They use too much debt to buy their risky assets, or they take out loans on their assets without creating any value off of those loans, and then they can't pay back their loans, and then they become over leveraged, and then people margin call them, and then everything just falls to shit, you know. And it is said that $6 billion in assets were then sold for $1. Like, can you imagine? This guy lost $6 billion for $1 just because he was over leveraged. He should have listened to Warren Buffett. I really don't know what the tough or cry. This is sad. I mean, I'm also losing some value because, you know, the markets are downturning, but there's a lot to learn here, you know. I do not give financial advice. I share what I learn, you know, and I try to get feedback from the rest of you so I can teach as I learn, and as I refine my investment thesis as an investor, as somebody that's trying to reach financial independence so I can retire early. So, you know, share what you have heard, share what you know in the comments there. like button, share, comment. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.